Hi everyone, welcome back to AFTV, welcome back to the Tactical Insight Show, and welcome back Graham. Welcome back to the studio, how you doing?
I'm doing very well, mate. Sorry I'm not Laura Woods.
So basically, if you're wondering what that's about, because that sounded a bit weird, basically, a week ago, Cecil interviewed Laura Woods at the SJAs as well as Jeff Stelling, and Graham was asking why he gets Laura Woods and I get you.
Yeah.
And I said because Cecil drew the short straw, so there we are. So it's all good. It's just big love to Laura. But I love working with you. But you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I really missed the show last week, and do you know what? The love I had around the stadium yesterday for this show, not just me, for you. The fans, there was a guy over yesterday, a guy called Min over from New Jersey, part of the Philadelphia Gooners, absolutely loves the Tactical Insight Show. People love this show and it means a lot to me, and so it's fantastic to be back. I missed doing the show last week, but before we get into it, here's my Spurs stat of the day for you.
There's always one.
Who is Spurs' third highest goal scorer this season?
Okay, so I actually know the answer because he told me before, but we'll give you guys a second just to ponder it. Third goal scorer. I mean, immediately the names are thinking, Kane, Son.
If you're unfortunate, James, to have a Spurs loving member of your family and you're looking for that shirt, end of season sale, and you don't know what name to put on the back, it's OG.
And that stands for?
Own goal.
There you go.
It's their third highest score this season. That's an unbelievable stat, isn't it?
I can't even remember that many, but there you go. Home goal. So any Spurs fans, go get your shirt. Own goal on the back. Ty's in the background and he's absolutely loving that stat. So he's really enjoying that one. Right, into the game.
Let's get into it.
Another big 3 points, 5 wins on the bounce. Arsenal in the top 4, a point ahead of Man United with many games in hand. We've got Liverpool coming up on Wednesday. This was a good performance from Arsenal. It had moments in it where we weren't really at our best, but generally it was very controlled, professional performance from the boys.
Yeah, I think a good start to a massive week. We've got 3 games in 6 days, 3 testing games. Leicester at home was always going to be a difficult game, and then we got Liverpool on Wednesday and Aston Villa next Saturday morning. Leicester went into this game resting key players. We have to say that, James. I think they had one eye on the Europa League. Obviously Vardy, who's a scourge of Arsenal. The season's gone by where Vardy hasn't scored against us.
Wow.
But so he was.
We really are back, aren't we?
He was not fit. And then obviously they rested Tielemans and Ndidi. I think Ndidi was a massive miss for them in the middle there.
I was gonna ask about this. Yeah, and by the way, we're gonna wax lyrical about this performance and enjoy it for the next 20 minutes. But worth saying that Leicester did have some key players missing. Ndidi, Tielemans are 2 superb midfielders on their day. Obviously Fofana wasn't available, Evans wasn't there, but it was still a good Leicester side.
Yeah, they've got some great players in their team. Harvey Barnes, who's a fantastic player. Dewsbury Hall, who's really making his name for himself now.
Yeah, been good this season for them.
Yeah, and they've still had some good players in that side. But for all that, I expected us, when I saw the teams come out, I expected us to win this game. For all that, I thought we won it because we won the big moments. I think that we defended better than them from set plays. When the defenders were asked the questions that was lacking at Watford last week, we answered them emphatically, defended really well. And in Thomas Partey and Martin Odegaard, we had 2 players at the top of their game that were absolutely superb in the match. Yeah,
completely agree. Let's have a look at the match stats because it did reflect Arsenal's dominance, I think, is probably a fair word, but 21 shots to their 6, 8 on target to their 3. We had less of the ball. That was interesting. 46% possession, but what we did with it was good. It was entertaining.
I think we allowed them, James, to have the ball in areas where we were happy for them to have the ball. That's why they were slightly higher in possession stats. But for all that, apart from that 15-20 minute period at the end of the first half, I didn't think they really hurt us too much, and I think we defended really well as a team.
Yeah, agreed. 3.13 XG for Arsenal to their 0.61. It was Arsenal. Those match stats tell me that Arsenal were more efficient with the ball, and actually I did feel when we had spells of sustained pressure, we were more often than not getting to their final third, getting a shot away, causing them some kind of trouble. Too often, I think over not the last month or two, but maybe earlier in the season, there were times where Arsenal looked like they were flattering to deceive, like they were going to do more than really. It was a kind of all bark, no bite. But that's definitely swung in our direction now. in recent weeks?
Yeah, I think the way the game started, I thought that obviously Leicester identified, for me, our right side, which was where we have been offensively more proactive over the last few weeks. With that blossoming partnership between Saka and Odegaard on that right-hand side. And I thought what they did at the start of the game, James, was they pressed us on that side. So whenever...
Let's illustrate it.
Yeah.
Because you're right. Break it down for us.
Yeah, so whenever, like, the trigger for them was whenever the ball went to Benjamin White or back to Ramsdale, they would literally then press onto our right-hand side to try and block passing lanes. Well, it was evident to me in the stadium that whenever White got the ball, that was the trigger for the press, and they literally are one of these teams that press as a unit, so that all the players would shift virtually over to one side to block the lanes. But what we have in Benjamin White is a player who can literally switch the ball 30 yards diagonally. And I thought the difference between Arsenal now and Arsenal from last season is that we're perfectly good on the right or the left-hand side. So they obviously were trying to stop us building up on the right-hand side at the start. And that first 15 minutes, we were just switching it over to Martinelli on the left, who was literally running at Pereira for that first 10-15 minutes and causing difficult situations for a guy who'd just come back into the Leicester team. Albrighton wasn't tracking back on that side. And we literally were sort of like pushing them back. So much so that I thought they abandoned that press and sat deeper as the half went on to try and get a foothold in the game. But that's what led, I think, to the first goal, really, with Martinelli having a couple good runs, forcing situations, and actually getting a corner, which led to our first goal. Absolutely,
and you're right. We did find Martinelli was often not just an acres of space because of the press, but also part of Arteta's instruction is for Saka and Martinelli to hug the touchline. I've been critical in the past because I've kind of wondered why we don't get, they're good finishers, why we don't get them closer to goal. You know, and more in and around Lacazette. But in fairness, it opens space for players centrally, and you're seeing Odegaard having shots, you're seeing Partey having strikes, even Xhaka made a late run into the box. So their movement and the space, the positions they're picking up is opening space for more central players to attack.
I think that's what happened yesterday, you know. When they sat deeper, that created more between the lines for Partey to start getting passes to Odegaard, and that's where we started to really create once they dropped slightly deeper. But for all that, it took a set play to undo them. I mean, they do defend really poorly at set plays, James.
We've got to talk about it. And we're going to praise Arsenal in this moment, and we're definitely going to praise Thomas Partey. Leicester's defending on that set piece was horrible, awful. I mean, I was genuinely... Listen, I mean, we've got so much to talk about. We could have broken it down and looked into it, but that's more of a Leicester issue. But were you surprised at just quite how easy it was? I mean, it kind of went in, and we were in the studio, and we were like, oh, we've scored. That just looked so easy.
It was a reminiscence a bit of the goal we scored at the King Power when Gabriel got across the near post, and that's what Partey does. What Leicester don't do very well is they don't defend the near post very well.
Yeah, terrible.
Whether it's not an Arsenal issue, because we got... And I was pleased for Partey because he won the... Player of the Month award, hadn't he, on the pitch before the start of the game. He's been one of our top players the last month in that single pivot role, really making it his own now. And he had a fantastic start to the game. Not only did he score that goal, but he hit the bar with a fantastic shot.
Yeah, he did.
Which could have put us 2 up. But what happens from that corner? Martinelli drills it across, and you've got 2 Leicester players defending that near post. You've got Thomas, who literally runs past the ball, and Pereira, who comes off the line, and Partey is not picked up. They don't pick up players well enough at the near post, and Partey got between 2 players and directed the header into the net, and it was a perfect start for Arsenal after 11 minutes.
It really was, and 11 minutes into a game where we've talked about there being loads of pressure, when you could just get that goal from a set piece. I liken it to an ace in tennis.
Yeah.
You know, when you're under pressure, you just need to win your service game. If you watch tennis, you'll know what I'm talking about. And you just hit a couple aces, you get some points on the board, and you just settle the pressure.
That's the 12th goal they've conceded from a corner, 15th from a set play.
Well,
they're bottom of the table, 20th in the league for conceding goals from set plays. Whereas Arsenal, under the new set-piece coach, have not conceded from a corner from 119 corners. And so when I said we won the big moments, that's how you set plays are a big part of football now, and if you can defend set plays or you can't defend set plays, that's a big part of the game.
And how long have they been Arsenal's Achilles heel for?
Of course,
and there you go.
What a fantastic job he's doing.
Massively improved. And Nicolas Yeovil, I believe, came from Man City in the summer, because we had the former Brentford guy who left this summer. Nicolas came in, and he's doing a great job. And I've seen a few goals from set pieces we've scored, and he's out there celebrating. You know, he can see his work coming to fruition, which is brilliant to see. Thomas Partey's numbers, because it wasn't just the set piece and the header, as you mentioned. Everything just played through him. He's looking better and better and better in this lone six role. He's playing the Busquets role, the Rodri role, the Fernandinho role, whatever you want to call it. It requires, we've talked about it, it requires so much responsibility. It's the obvious place to target when you're going to press Arsenal. And yet he still finds a way not only to look after the ball when pressed and to come out of the situation and find a pass, but he's also able to move around the press to make sure that White and Gabriel can still find him. That he's having to do so much in that role.
He finds space. You've got to be technically good. You've got to be physically strong. You've got to
intelligent,
and he's all those things. He broke up so many of their attacks in that game. I thought the second half of the first half they were getting a foothold in the game. Actually, James.
Yeah, I thought so.
Just three big moments for me where we defended really well. First of all, Dewsbury Hall, Harvey Barnes, who got in behind Cedric, forces a good save out of Ramsdale. And then Benjamin White made an absolutely brilliant tackle on James Maddison to deny him. And I was watching, we're going to talk about how good Odegaard was. I was looking for that Odegaard-Maddison comparison yesterday. Because I was one of the idiots who wanted Maddison pre-season, I admit it. But Odegaard has proved me wrong, and a lot of people wrong as well. And then the massive save from Aaron Ramsdale. What a fantastic save from a Harvey Barnes header. Brilliant cross from Albrighton. And it's top draw stuff, really, to turn it over the bar. He makes a name for himself and making big saves against Leicester, and he's done it at Maddison from that free kick early in the season, and he produced it again yesterday to keep us 1-0 up. And that half time I thought came at a good time with us because they were getting on top, and then Arteta got into them at half time, and then we came out a rejuvenated team in the second half.
Yeah, there's a few bits here, especially from the defensive perspective when it comes to Arsenal. With Thomas Partey, I will say, looking at his numbers, which you sent through last night, 60 touches in the game, 1 possession 6 times, 6 duels, 4 tackles, 4 final third passes, got 3 shots away, as you said, 1 leading to a goal, 1 hitting the crossbar, the other leading to a penalty, 2 interceptions, and managed to create a chance as well. I wanted to add on what you're talking about, sort of getting through that end of that first half, because it can be very easy to sit here and go, well, for 70 minutes out of 90 we were brilliant. So yeah, the end of the first half was, I wouldn't say concerning, but it was a poor moment in the game for Arsenal. I felt we were getting through it thanks to your Ramsdales, Tierney, White, Gabriel, Partey as well, and the general work ethic of the team. And it felt like Arsenal were just trying to get to half time, and they did, and they survived it. And then Arteta got into them and they got going again in the second half.
I think there was a hunger in the team, James, to keep a clean sheet on.
Yeah, there really was, actually. I agree.
Giving away a late goal against Brentford, we were sloppy at Watford.
Yeah.
And I think they really wanted that clean sheet yesterday. I think that really did come out of the team in spades yesterday. They really did defend well when they had to.
And I said it on full time as well, but, Ramsdale, Gabriel, Tierney were 3 players who I don't think had received criticism, but their performances were maybe around the 5-6 out of 10. We're used to seeing 7 and 8s from them. The last couple of weeks they hadn't been at their very best, but I thought they were great again yesterday, so well done to them. Second half starts, Arsenal with a better tempo. Clearly Arteta's got into them. Penalty, it's a clear decision, isn't it?
I must admit, where I was in the stadium, I couldn't see it. I'm at the other end, looking across the other penalty box. Obviously, I see the Arsenal players appealing, and then it's gone to VAR. I mean, Anthony Taylor, what a nightmare for him, having to go to VAR. The guy who sent off Martinelli. First of all, congratulations, Anthony Taylor, for not sending him off yesterday.
Oh, it was him.
Yeah, it was Anthony Taylor, right?
I try not to remember.
He had a strange performance, Anthony Taylr. There was one incident at the start of the second half where Jacko actually caught the ball, which was going out for a throw, and he caught it on the field of play. And I think he was a little bit nervous about giving him a yellow card, because I think after what had happened 2 or 3 weeks ago at Wolves, but he had to go over to the monitor, didn't he? And you could see it's a pen. There was an angle of it, James. We talked about it this morning, where you can see when the ball changes direction, when it flicks off Sinarchu. Fingertips, and it's going towards the goal. The reason people were saying why wasn't he sent off, because it boils down to this law of an obvious goal scoring opportunity, which was never the case, because the guy, I think it was Thomas, was it? Got it off the line.
Right, yeah.
So that's why he didn't get the red card, but it was a clear pen. Now, I said on my fan cam with Robbie yesterday, that took absolute balls from Alexander Lacazette to put the ball in the roof of the net from a penalty, because Schmeichel commits himself and he goes for power up high. That is at 1-0. That was a big moment in the game, James. I said we won the big moments. That was a big moment. That killed them basically at 2-0. To put a penalty that really was the clinching goal in the roof of the net at a key stage in the game showed he had balls of steel yesterday, Lacazette.
Absolutely. And it was a great finish, and I like those ones when it hits the roof of the net. They're
fantastic.
They always look good. Arsenal 2-0 up, and then we start seeing some of the best football that we've seen all season. Some of the combinations, interplay, and a lot of it comes through this guy, Martin Odegaard. Again, he sent through his numbers: 68 touches yesterday, 45 out of 56 passes completed, 27 of those in the final third, 6 out of 12 duels won. Listen, even if he didn't, he won 6 of them, which is great, but competing 12 duels, putting yourself about, we know the work ethic's there. And he created 6 chances, 5 in the first half, which I believe is the most for an Arsenal player since Mesut Ozil against Everton in 2017. I saw that stat going around on social media. So Martin Odegaard, excellent. You also talked about his creative influence. He sent over his rankings per game before the Leicester match. This is for Arsenal, and he ranked first for all these things when it comes to chances created, open play chances, passes into the final third, passes into the opposition box, and his expected assists as well, being at 0.2 per game. He is the creative heartbeat, isn't he? Yeah,
his vision is taking our play to a new dimension at the moment. I will say that, and also, I think it was said when I watched the commentary back, when I got back from the game last night, I watched the game back, and I think one of the commentators said it's almost like the ball was glued to his foot.
Yeah.
I mean, some of the intricate movements he had.
So silky.
Silky. That's the word. And fans were purring in the stadium around me yesterday at his performance. But it's not just what he offers on the ball; it's what he offers off the ball, James.
Yeah.
His work rate is phenomenal. He's the complete modern footballer.
He really is.
He really is. Ball recoveries, we haven't got his numbers, but I'm pretty sure he had the most ball recoveries yesterday. He just does not stop running, and his ability on the ball is just a different level at the moment. You name me in the Premier League a player who's playing as well as Martin Odegaard is at the moment. I don't think there is one, is there?
I mean, I'd have to.
He's playing better than Maddison anyway.
I mean. You had to. Fair play. Listen, I'm probably looking at Liverpool City players, Kai Havertz, but no, you're right. Odegaard he's one of the form players in the league at the moment. He's been absolutely superb.
And he's been like this for a number of weeks now.
Yeah, he has been, to be honest.
And the partnership he's got with Saka on that right-hand side, the triangles, the fluidity, the movement, that back flick. Did you see that flick he did yesterday?
When he dragged it.
He was coming short, working angles, working little triangles, pass and move. He is the heartbeat of the team now.
Now, I want to get a little bit into the crux in these kind of final 5 minutes about why we're seeing Arsenal. It has, yeah. It always flies by, especially after a win. I want to go into why we're seeing this from Arsenal, from Odegaard. Part of it could be down to the pass combinations. Again, you were putting together his pass combinations, looking at how he combines with Saka, Partey, White, Tomiyasu, and Xhaka. Not only just who he passes to, which is on the left, but also how many times he's received the ball from these players. He's building really nice relationships with Saka in terms of knowing when to release him in beyond, when to come close to him. Partey knowing how to find the space and
between the lines.
Yeah, in between the lines, and Partey's got a superb pass on him. Ben White as well. They're connecting brilliantly. Tomiyasu's not played for a while, and they've definitely built a good relationship.
On the side, doesn't he, on the right hand side?
It's good to see him combining with Xhaka as well.
Was Granit Xhaka.
Well, of course, because he's much more to the left. But I want to see also Odegaard combining with more central players. I was critical after the game at Old Trafford when we lost. And I looked at his pass combinations to players like Aubameyang, Smith Rowe, and it was really low. So they're getting to understand each other a bit more.
It tells me how we're evolving as a team, James. This is purely coached, isn't it, from Arteta? And when you think, when we were pressed yesterday, I was watching us, right? Early in the season, there was a nervousness. Whenever we had the ball, when Ramsey had the ball and we were playing out, the players now are so comfortable, good at what they do. It's almost like rhythm now, repeated, game in, game out. the crowd are not nervous anymore when these players are being pressed. Arsenal want teams to press them, and then they play around the press. It's one of the great improvements under Arteta. Not only the way, you know, that we are better now, I think, at high pressures up the pitch, although we're not still far from perfect. But the way we play out, the way these players are comfortable on the ball, it comes, I think, from familiarity. The fact that the same players are playing week in, week out. Everybody knows where everyone's going to be. There was one pass that he played, Odegaard, in that first half to Saka, where he didn't even have to look. It was a reverse pass. It was
exquisite, yeah.
And they built up these partnerships right across the pitch where they understand where each other are, and it comes from playing together week in, week out. So, and I think that we're evolving now as a team, and Odegaard is, I think, the orchestrator of all this.
Yeah, I completely agree. And you can see that his influence when you look at the channels. This was last season. 40% down the left, as you rightly pointed out. That was where most of our football was being played. I think because of the likes of Smith Rowe being out
Tierney
on that side high. Often, Tierney bombing up. You know, that was always our outlet. Give it to Tierney and get forward. And then you look at it this season, much more balanced, but also 39% down the right, trying to attack Bukayo Saka's end.
That's the great thing now, because Leicester were trying to press us to stop us playing down that right-hand side in that first 20 minutes, but we're able to switch it and use the left-hand side. We're comfortable now on both sides of the pitch. We try and build up centrally as well, but we're very good now. We don't literally build up predictably down the left-hand side. We can build up on the left-hand side, we can build up on the right-hand side, and that's how the team's evolved this season, and credit to Arteta for that.
Yeah, I agree. So, credit to Arteta. So let me ask, and this is the question for all of you guys, let us know in the comment section, has the style of football that we're seeing now, the flair, the people saying, it's like prime Wenger days are back and all that. Is that because the system, everything is put in place, has clicked? We've used the word overcoached a lot. Or has he relaxed things a little bit? Has he given them a little bit more freedom? Has he trusted them a little bit more?
I think he's now changed to the style of football he wants to play.
More 4-3-3? More
4-3-3.
Yeah.
And I think players are familiar now where they play, and they've got to know each other really well over the course of the season. And I think he's a little less rigid. I think players did stand more in zones and there is a lot of fluidity of movement. Players can move across the front line.
I think Cedric helps with that. He bombs on. Yeah.
Cedric does when he plays on that right hand side. Well, I think what he's done at the moment is Cedric is very good up high, but he's not so good defensively. We saw that at times in the Leicester game. So when Cedric plays, Tierney will be more inverted, but when Tomiyasu comes back, Tomiyasu will be the one inverted, Tierney go high. So we've got great sort of combinations for flexibility in the team now, and it comes again, I can't emphasise strongly enough, from keeping the same set of players playing together week in, week out. We understand each other, know where everybody's going to be, and so that's where we've evolved to now, James.
For what it's worth, and again, I've used the term overcoaching a lot. For me, it is actually that the style of football has clicked. I think they understand it more, and I think where it looked overcoached before, because he keeps trying to drill it in, this is how we're going to do it, this is how we're going to do it.
This is the style of football he wants to play, isn't it?
Now it's working. So we can see why.
Dan Potts, right? I love Dan to bits. He could never see a style of play at Arsenal. This is a style of play.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's go through the roundup stats just to leave it there. But as I said, let us know in the comment section below, what is it that's got Arsenal going up a few gears and levels in recent weeks and months. Roundup stats: Arsenal now taking 28 points from their last 33 in the Premier League, winning 9, drawing 1, losing 1. The only defeat against City. It really... Do you know that could easily have been 11 for 11. When you think of the Burnley, Lacazette not putting in the back of the net and the way things unravelled against City, but that is a phenomenal record. Arsenal now 20 plus this. I love this stat. Arsenal now had 20 plus shots in their last 4 Premier League games at the Emirates. The Gunners only had 20 plus shots in one of their first 30 home games under Arteta.
Shows the improvement.
Absolutely. Odegaard created 6 chances for Arsenal, the joint most by any Arsenal player in the Premier League this season. The second time he has created 5 plus chances this season. Partey, who scored a second goal for the club with a header, has now had 51 shots from outside the box without scoring. He did hit the bar yesterday, as we know. With 12 games remaining, Arsenal now kept as many clean sheets as they did in the Premier League last season. A great stat. As you mentioned before, 119 corners faced, none conceded, no goals conceded, and as we mentioned before, Odegaard created 5 chances in the first half, which is the most in a first half of a league game since Ozil for Arsenal in the Everton win in October 2017. That's just for Arsenal players, by the way, not across the Premier League. But Odegaard is enjoying his football, and we're enjoying his football as well. Graham, as always, thank you so much.
Pleasure, mate.
Smash a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Be in the comment section as well. We'll discuss everything with you. Is there anyone else you want to talk about? Ben White, great again. Aaron Ramsdale seemed back at his best yesterday. Cedric covering for Tomiyasu. He's probably going to play against Liverpool. How are you feeling about that? So yeah, let us know, guys. A big thanks as always. Subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you later.